No one will forget the year 2020 anytime soon. In spite of all the negative aspects, we had the opportunity to discover magical places this year too. Before the lockdown, we have visited the magnificent island of Madeira, which has become one of our favorite destinations. Here we started with the most popular objective and took a 4-hour warm-up hike to Risco Waterfall and 25 Springs Waterfall. The next day we escaped to the dragon-shaped São Lourenço Peninsula to avoid the black clouds above the island. We visited in rainy weather the Fanal Laurel Forest, the location of Edith's old Windows wallpaper, which could be the reason why the cows crashed there. We found the most beautiful church of the island and its amazing views of the ocean from the northern rocks, but we didn't climb to Cape São Jorge on the wonky wood structures. We arrived at twilight to the interesting houses in the village of Santana, and on our way home we stopped at the Portela viewpoint as well. Next came the most difficult but also the most beautiful hike. The trail to Pico Ruivo, Portugal's third highest peak, is considered rightfully one of the most beautiful hikes in the world. On our last day in Madeira, we couldn't miss Cabo Giro, the highest skywalk viewpoint in Europe. Portugal was the 32nd country on my list. And then came the quarantine. Before that, we took a last walk in the local forest, then we didn't meet for 2 months. It seems that this affected me so much that the colors of my next video looked like this originally. In July, I decided to split the channel in 3 because I've worked against myself up until now, and finally we could be in nature again with our friends on the Padis Plateau. In August, I went alone on a 4-day backpacking trip in Parang Mountains. On the first day, I was 1.5 hours shy of reaching the planned camping spot, so I had to improvise and sleep among the bears. I arrived to Lake Gâlcescu the next day and climbed the chimney of the lakes to reach the main ridge, from where I could already see Romania's 4th highest peak, Parangul Mare. I climbed it the next day, then after a steep descent I put up my tent at dusk near Lake Lung, which I had to put on the list of my most spectacular camping spots after I woke up. On the last day, I passed by the remains of a plane that crashed decades ago, and I took a peek into the most beautiful shelter of the country. In October I left near Baču Gorge and I returned at night to the Hoia Baču forest. I haven't seen any UFOs this time either, but at least I gave some tips for night hikes to my viewers. In November we climbed among the colors of the autumn to the vertiginous Bogza Mare peak in the Aiud Gorge. It was the first time I bought anything for Black Friday, so you can follow us and our adventures from more diverse camera angles in the future. I've tested the new gear for the first time near Tarnica Lake on the steep trail leading to the Stone of the Ravens. Also on the long weekend, we took a 20-kilometer hike in winter scenery. Leaving from Montele Baisori, we reached the Singing Rocks under Montele Mare, and on our way there we took a detour to Peak Pietrele Mărunte as well. After it got dark, we saw for the first time the magical moondog phenomenon, which I call jokingly the Transylvanian aurora. In a few weeks I felt the need to get out in nature, so I took a muddy walk for a few hours in Făget Forest. Between the holidays we have visited near Oradea the Betvia crater and tower, which were probably among the first hiking destinations of my life. We concluded the year in land of Galata under Vlădeasa mountain. From Sâncraiu we got to Săcuieu on a road reminding of Norway. We found out that there are also sequoia trees in Transylvania. And in spite of the freezing weather, we couldn't miss on the 1st of January the popular Brights Whale waterfall. What does the new year bring? I have no way of knowing, but I'm sure that we'll be hiking whenever we have the chance, which I'll try to share with you as often as possible. Stay with us this year as well.